understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Justin Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being with me. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. And there is a line open, so I want to jump in there before we get taken. You can, my biblical question for this week. The biblical question: what sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone. What sense does that make? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you are out and about doing what you do, busy working out or whatever you might be doing, no matter what it is, you can listen to the show until you're able to podcast or watch it. You can podcast all the show, but you can listen on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, Jesse Lee Peterson, on Instagram and rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Like, follow, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. It is Friday. It is Get It Off Your Chest Day. Every Friday, it is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You know, you said friends are people you can tell good things to and people you can tell bad things to. And you have friends because friends keep you sane.
We need friends. What's up, man?
Hi. I just wanted to see if you knew any kids around like 11 or 12 maybe, because I need some friends, like really bad.
Would you rather have friends but live under a tyrannical system, or stand up for yourself and your right, but maybe lose a few friends? I mean, I sat at lunch alone today, which is weird. Like, my friends didn't like me. Because if no one stands up for your God-given right, then they just fade away.
Wow, deep. That's amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Anchor Baby. He put that video together. I had not seen it. It was amazing. Wow. No such thing as friends. It's just another word. That's why when you disagree with them or they disagree with you, they turn on you, because it was just a word that made your imagination, thoughts, think that you had a friend. It's just like marriage. When a man and a woman get married, the thought of marriage creates a false illusion of need and wants for one another, and it doesn't work. It turns into a fight. You got to, we don't have to. You can live in your hell. But if you want to live out of the hell, you got to overcome thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Isn't that amazing? You know, I was thinking, reflecting yesterday and this morning about how the world, my country today, is totally, in the outer world out there, is totally screwed up. And everybody know it now. Everybody says it. I haven't met one person that says that this country is not insane. It has not gone insane. It's gone insane. Human beings, the physical world outside of you is an animal world. It really is. Human beings acting like animals. It's an animal world. And the reason they treat each other like animals is because inwardly they think and feel like an animal or animals. And so they're giving you what's inside of them, their imagination and emotions. It's horrible. It's just horrible the way human beings treat each other nowadays. It hasn't always been, I'm sure it was always this way to a small extent, but it hasn't always been so out there, clear now. Family members and the way family members treat one another, the way co-workers treat one another, the way husband and wife treat one another, the way, no such thing as friend, but friends treat one another. It's all about giving one another misery and trying to get a false sense of satisfaction or something to make themselves feel better. Services today in America, you go to the, especially government service, but even now, almost any business, the service in these companies is just a mess. It's turned upside down. I did not know the depths of how human beings can treat one another. Their lives are about totally tearing down another life. Another life, other life. They live off of it. And now they make money off misery and being victim. I've never seen anything like this before. It's totally insane. So I was wondering, paying attention for a while now, why is it like this? It wasn't always like this. Everybody knows it wasn't always like this, right? Homeless people on the streets and drug use and laying out in the middle of the street, just whatever. And even the people who talk about love and forgiveness are treating each other and others in the same manner. There's no different. But for some reason, they don't see how they're treating one another and others. And so I was smoking on it. And I realized it's all because everybody think alike. Everybody think alike. If you listen and pay attention, everyone think alike in one form or another. Now, they'll tell you, oh, no, I think differently. But they don't. They really don't. Everybody think alike. And not realizing that the way of thinking is not going to make life work for them. Life would never work. Just know this, without a doubt. Life is never going to work for you in the way that you're thinking. It's not going to work. You shall always be miserable. Even in the phony, fake happiness that you have, in that it's miserable. That's about misery. And it's because of the thinking. All races do, not just, it's not limited to one race. And I've noticed that most people, a few are starting to wake up, but most people refuse to climb that wall of thinking and cross over into paradise, into seeing from themselves, from within. Most people are not willing to do that. Even when truth chases them to try to encourage them to crawl over the wall of thinking, come out of it, and come down into the way of seeing from within. They run away from truth. The truth scares them. The emotion comes up and the thoughts go nuts. And the truth scares them. And they run back into thought world. Because they don't realize that the truth is trying to wake them up. And the darkness thoughts and the darkness emotions are afraid of the light of the truth, so it trembles when the truth gets near. And because everyone has identified with thoughts and emotions, they think that it's them that's trembling. And so they run away from the truth. And they stay in their hell. And then there's a few, though, who are overcoming it. But it's crazy. You can bank on this. You can bank on it. Your life as an individual, as a group, as a Christian, as a non-Christian, as a Jew, as a non-Jew, as a Allahu Akbar, as a Mormon, as a that religion that make the family turn on you if you don't agree with them anymore. I forgot what it's called. But Catholic, whatever you are, your life is not going to improve until you overcome thinking. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. I don't care if you meditate or observe or quote the word or whatever. You're still living in thoughts and you're still miserable within. And you try to inflict fake love or hate on others to try to make yourself feel better, and you don't see what you're doing. And it's every human being on this planet. And it doesn't matter if you are a trash pick-upper person or you're the president of the United States or the world or the country, whatever country you're in, it's the same thing. And those thoughts make you hunger and thirst after perceived power and wealth, something to try to make you feel better. After a degree that would give you a false sense of identity, and that doesn't work. It makes you go after the biggest house, and that doesn't work. It makes you make buku money, and that doesn't work. It makes you have fake friends around you, and that doesn't work. Ain't nothing going to work until you overcome thoughts. Thoughts have put you in an animal-like nature, and you act like animals toward yourself and other human beings. There is no reminder to you that we're all created by God and that we're supposed to love one another. You say it, but you don't mean it, because in your imagination you're hating, judging, or outwardly you're doing it too. And you rejoice in other human beings' misery, pain, suffering, because you are miserable. You know, you hear this thing about wars starting to break out around, and United States and Ukraine fighting against Russia, Russia and China joining forces. All around the world, you hear rumors of wars and things. Everybody fighting everybody. And if you notice, nothing is getting better. You hear a lot about the inflation and all that, and people scared and worried. It's because you're living in the prison of your imagination, and you can't see. You do what you want, but I suggest, do what you want, that you should pull away and start looking within to see if there's another way of living. There just might be another way of living, and that way is seeing rather than thinking. Because every thinking person have been taught by other thinking people. And the thinking people that taught you to think are insane too. And everybody repeats the same thing, trying to make a relationship work, trying to make this work. So many people are suffering like 90 going north, trying to make some form of a relationship work. You can't make anything work. Either it works or it doesn't. You can't make it work. You can't make anything happen. And yet the world have taught you to believe that you can, and each generation just repeated the same cycle. But it's getting worse. It's not getting better. And you don't see that it's getting worse. During my years of counseling and giving talks and all that, it helped me more than anything else, I think. But I never thought that husband and wife or family members could treat each other in the way that family members and husband and wife treat each other today. You gotta know it's hell. It's crazy. Living in fear. I never really understood until the last, over the years, what a mother or a grandmother, a mother can do to children, her own children. The misery that women, mothers, bring up on their own children is mind-blowing to me. But yet, it's not like real mind-blowing because I do understand it. If I didn't understand what was happening and why it's happening, it would be total mind-blowing. I would not be able to comprehend it at all. But I can promise you that mothers hate their children. They hate them, and they call it love. And they force the children to become just like them, to think, the boys and the girls, to think, to feel, to act just like them. Either you learn mother's way or you ain't going to make it. And you still don't make it when you learn her way. And the fathers are afraid of mothers, the mother to their own children. And everybody doing the same thing except for the few that are starting to see. And there are men and women around the world, I deal with them, around the world who are starting to see. They're starting to wake up. They just didn't know. No one told them, hey, go down this road. You've taken the wide road. There's another way. No one told them that. I hear it all the time. No one told me. I never knew. But it makes sense. And they're changing. They're climbing the wall of thoughts and entering into seeing. I remember, and I don't know if they still have it, the so-called black, one of those black organizations have this thing, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. That was the biggest lie I ever heard. I ain't never heard such a big lie. The mind is a terrible thing to save. The mind thoughts are your enemy. And if you notice, the people who are saving the mind and not so-called they are building on it, as nutty as a fruitcake and dumb as a doorknob. Yesterday, I had several counselors. I do counseling every day almost, except Fridays. And sometimes on Friday if it's serious. I counsel with someone, and what his wife had done to his children was mind-blowing. And how his mother joined forces with his wife, not with him, and supporting her in it, destroying the children. It's mind-blowing. But I understand it, and now he does too. And now he can see how to deal with it. Whether you like it or not, accept it or not, believe it or not, there is only good and evil. And every human being, I don't care who you are, that has anger and fear is evil. They are children of evil. I don't care if in your family, every human being, you must be born of the Father, of love. Otherwise, your whole existence will be about misery and fear. And you do everything you can to try to find peace, and you're never going to find it. Perfect peace only comes when you see that you're angry and you're wrong for it, and you forgive. And it doesn't matter if you go to preacher school, you have preacher Bibles, you have preacher's degrees or secular degree. It's the same thing. I ask, and it's the same thing. But it's weird, too, in that, yet I understand it. When I say weird, I still understand it. That only a few people will pull aside and question themselves, you know what, this ain't working. I'm hooping and hollering, or reading the word, or I'm going to Harvard and I got a scientist degree, or a counselor, or a doctor, or a lawyer. It still ain't working. And then when couples break up, they'll go around in a circle of this wall of thoughts, and they think that they're getting a different person. This is going to be a little better. And it end up being the same thing. And you and I hear men and women say, oh, I met a good Christian woman or a good Christian man. And it's the same thing. All thoughts, all lies, all the time. And the hell is coming through the woman. Whether you like it or not, know it or not, believe it or not. All you gotta do is open your eyes from within and you'll see it. But you won't hate the woman for it because you understand what's going on. Because now you're of love. And in perfect love, there is no anger, no decision-making, no decisions, no will, no nothing but perfect love. It's just light. And the light will defeat the darkness. Well, to be honest with you, to be real honest, if I can be honest, to be real honest, Allahu Akbar, evil is not a challenge at all. There's nothing to defeat in evil with evil or in evil with evil because evil has already been defeated. It has no power. It has no authority. It has nothing but fear and trembling and anger. It has no love. It's already been defeated. You just don't know it because you believe it's you. You believe it's you. You have taken on all these identities. And what would I do if I let go of my identities? Who will I be? Won't you try and find out? It's amazing. Because who you think you are, you're not. And the ideas and what people are telling you about yourself is not true. It's really, I promise you, not true. But you believe the world because you're in the imagination, so you're of the world. You act, you learn, you do what the world do, and you go around in the merry-go-round. On the merry-go-round, and you pass it on to the next generation. And then they learn, and it keep going, and it just get worse. And people they love their misery. And if you don't love your misery, you start to overcome it. And they discover that you're overcoming that misery, and they are not, the darkness will go after the light. Believe me, because the darkness hate the light. I hear it in family members all the time. My family member turned on me because they hate the light in you. They hate what they see. And it's not them, it's the darkness in them. So let them go, or they'll destroy you. But wish them well. Don't be angry. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. There is a line open. A quick break. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Interesting in that I now know women around the world who have realized that they've been living in that imagination, and they used to think it was normal and all the females emotional were normal, and they now realize that was hell, and they're overcoming it. Their minds are being renewed. They can't believe it. They're like, what the? It can change if you want the change. You got to want it. Nobody can want it for you. No one can change you. You can't change you, so you might as well give up and let the change happen. Anyway, before I go to the phones and the super chats, a couple things happening today. Number one, the Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning after my show. The Hake report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And James Hake is on fire. He ain't got that good hair for nothing. He's on fire. And at 12 noon, a very, very interesting discussion from a guy from the old school, or with a guy from the old school. And there's a lot of good information. You don't want to miss it. I had an amazing conversation with Judge Joe Brown on our brand new episode of The Fallen State. And Judge Joe Brown is a former lawyer, as I said, judge, TV personality, and is currently running for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
By the time I got 15 or so, I'd seen people stabbed, people shot. It was like being in a war zone.
How did you manage to survive all that?
How well you meet that danger with courage, that's what determines what kind of person you are. The biggest threat you have right now is the rainbow religion.
What is the solution to all this mess?
Being brave and courageous, it's up to us. Nobody's gonna do it for us.
Judge Joe Brown at 12 Pacific time, thefallenstate.tv. Very interesting conversation. Kind of remind me of when I was growing up and the older guys were different then. And for personalized shout-outs, birthday shout-outs, wedding shout-outs, encouragement shout-outs, announcement shout-outs, whatever the occasion. You can go to Cameo and request it. I will do them for you. cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. I want to show you one quick example before I get to the causes, the super chats. I want to give you one quick example, maybe two, of thought, thinking, actions. And it's all evil. It's pure evil, but everybody think like it. Even the people who are going to disagree with this, the way you're thinking, your way of thinking about this is evil as well. And your way won't work. The only thing that's going to ever work in your life, my life, human beings' life, oh, I forgot the Anchor Baby show. Lord, I have sinned. Forgive me, Lord. The Anchor Baby is on fire, riding high today at 4 p.m. And I wonder if you're taking the Trump plane today. Are you flying Trump thing, Nick? Trump Force One. The American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Don't forget it.
Amazing.
Amazing. But I want to show you an example of what thoughts can do to you. It doesn't matter what position you hold in life. This is from the Daily Caller. I want to just first ask, are you ready for a war? Are you ready for a war? Do you think we are ready to fight Russia or anybody? But the ones who are encouraging this, their mind, because they have personal gain from it, so-called power, wealth, they are no different than the way family members treat each other, the way mothers treat children, the way so-called friends treat friends. It's no different. It's the same spirit. They're thinking the same thing you're thinking in your world. But you're able to see it and don't realize, most people don't realize what they're looking at, right? But what I'm about to show you is what happens when you're into thinking. Thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time. This is from the Daily Caller. And this, what I'm about to play, you come from a smart guy. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson predicts that a hot war with Russia will be used by opponents of former President Donald Trump to beat him in 2024. Watch this from X.
The problem with everything becoming, the problem with criminalizing politics is the people who do it imagine or know that it will be done to them. So once you start indicting your political opponents, you know that you have to win or else they're going to indict you if they win, right?
Right.
And so they can't lose. They will do anything to win. What are they going to do? They're going to go to war with Russia. Is what they're going to do. There will be a hot war between the United States and Russia in the next year. They need to declare war footing in order to assume war powers in order to win. I believe that. And I think the evidence suggests that's true. We're already at war with Russia, of course. We're funding their enemies. So we're fighting Russia. But I mean, an open battle with Russia where we say we're at war with Russia. I think that could easily happen. I would bet my house on it. We are going to war with Russia. And of course, the stakes are everything, our life on the planet. I mean, these are the two biggest nuclear arsenals in the world. You're leading this country to its destruction. We've already lost control of the world. The American empire's in free fall right now, and we're going to lose the U.S. dollar. And when that happens, we're going to have real poverty here, like Great Depression level poverty.
Amazing. The people who it's true, going to war with Russia is thinking, they are thinking and feeling the same thing you are thinking and feeling, and you're going to war with your environment, people around you, people you know and don't know. It's the same thing. It's the same spirit, a spirit of deceit, a spirit of evil. And you'll say, ooh, that's terrible. But you don't say, ooh, it's terrible the way I'm treating myself and others. You don't say that. You think what you're doing is right. Just like these people in their own minds think what they're doing is right. Even though they know it's wrong, they know something is wrong, but they think it's right. And the way that Donald Trump, the Great White Hope, has been treated, these people are trying to gain something by treating one man with pure hell. That's the same thing you do. In your life, in your world, to others, you're trying to gain something, and that something never satisfies you. It never satisfies you. Now you got to go and do it again to others. Attack. In your mind and outwardly. I want to just show that, and I want to know. First, I want to tell you, no, we are not ready for a war. And I got proof of that. But because egos want to satisfy egos, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter that you know you can lose. You still think you're getting something. We're involved in Ukraine, giving them all the stuff we got. And then starving out the American people. for personal gain. That's how mothers do to children. That's how you do to one another and yourself. Men are even doing it to men today, attacking one another. It's just totally insane, but it's evil. I understand it. They have not overcome the spirit of the mother and returned to the spirit of the father. It used to be so abnormal, embarrassing for the man to act that way or even let anyone know he's acting that way. But now the men are proud of it. We're not ready for a war. We're not prepared for a war. If you doubt me, watch this from X.
Why did you join the army? Why did you join the army?
I don't know. For money.
Huh?
For money.
Why did you join the army?
Free food.
Why did you join the army, Battle? Why?
I joined because my dad asked me to join.
Okay, I love it. Why did you join the army, Battle?
So I could get a reason and get pregnant and get the age. Free food, I get to sleep anywhere I want.
Thank you. Battle, why did you join the army?
I don't know. I don't know why I joined the army.
How did you join the army?
Why did I join the army?
Yes.
I need to pay for college.
Thank you. Why did you join the army? Why did you join the army?
For my mom's papers.
Wow. That's the army that's going to go to war with Russia or China. If that don't make you tremble in your boots, I don't know what will. Now do you think we're ready for a war? But the people who are pushing us toward that don't care. They don't care about your life, my life, their children's lives. They just care about what their ego can get from it. Did you ever imagine that one day members of the army would tell you they joined the army to get money and free food or to get her mama paper? I don't know why I joined. How is that going to be a strong army? And these little women are just weak and little. Allah Abba, walk all over them in 1 minute. And they're going to go to war with China and those people doing this. Have you seen China military? Have you seen them? They throw their legs and hands up at the same time, thousands of them together, and not missing a step. You got these little children. They're in there for money. And when the war starts, and if it should start, they'll be like, what? No, I was just playing. I don't want to fight. I want money. I want something to eat.
What the?
The United States of America used to be the most powerful force on this side of heaven. Is now becoming the weakest force on this side of heaven for ego gain. That's all it is. Because the people encouraging the war, they live behind gated fences. They are well protected. They're not going to feel the pain that you're going to feel. And they know it, and they don't care. Just like women don't care about the children. They'll send them off to school. They'll go and march and fight, but they really ain't going to stay home and watch over the kids. Anyway, 888-775-3773. A spiritual battle y'all better wake up. And you can wake up. That's the beauty of it. And the truth want you to wake up. Barbara is out of Detroit. Barbara, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes. Hi, Jesse. How you doing this morning?
All is well, Barbara.
That's good. That's good. I just disagree with your assessment on women. I mean, it's two species in this world, and that's
it's what?
man and woman.
Oh, okay.
It's only man and woman. You know what I mean? And neither one is better than the other. We both have to work together. It takes two people to make a baby. So why is it when the child is in the womb, it's the man's baby, but when it comes out, it's the woman's baby?
Well, it takes one person to make the baby and one person to carry the baby and have the baby, right?
Not true.
Women don't make babies.
Women have the eggs. That's the actual,
But you don't
baby.
make the baby. It's the baby put the sperm in the egg. If the man didn't put the stuff in the egg just lay there and die when the woman get old.
Something's wrong with you. Anyway, I feel different. No, it's not true.
What will happen to the egg if it's not fertilized?
It just come on out
and die.
What happens to the sperm?
And when it comes out,
what happens to the sperm if it has nothing to connect to?
It'll last for 100 and some years.
No, it don't. No, it don't.
Am I lying about that?
Yes.
I got proof that I'm not lying.
Okay, let me hear it.
How old was Abraham when he made a baby?
Abraham, I don't know.
Was it Abraham and Sarah? Over 100 years old, right? He was 100 or something. He was 100.
Oh, my God.
His sperm was kicking hard.
But there's no proof on how old the woman was that had the baby.
She was 99. Something like that. Sarah.
Either way it go, she still held that baby. And everything in that woman's body changes when you have a baby. Everything got to get pushed aside, move, whatever you eat, the baby eat, your blood, your happiness, whatever you're talking about. If you're arguing with somebody, all of that stuff affects the baby.
Yep. And that's why
you see what I'm saying?
That's why the baby come out crying, because she affected the baby in the womb.
See. Anyway, can we get back to what I was saying?
Yes.
Why is it that you always blame the woman when it takes two people to make a baby?
What do I blame the woman about?
When?
I said, what do I blame her about?
I cannot believe you asked me this question. You blame the woman for it. You said if the woman does not have a father, if the father is not around, then the baby turned out to be an alcoholic, drug dealer, in jail, or every other thing that you can think of. This is what you always say. You always say because of the woman. But what about the man?
Is that not true?
No, it's not true.
Then why, when the woman raises the children and the man is not there to protect his children, why do they all end up screwed up?
That's what I'm saying. Because the man is not there.
The man is not there.
Blame on the woman. If the man was there, it's not fair that the man can just go and spread his seed and not have to take care of it. You always push about taking care of.
You're making my point, and you don't hear yourself making my point. I ask us, why is it that whenever the women raise children and the man is not there to protect them, you said because the man's not there. So you're saying, yes, Jesse, the woman is screwing them up because the man is not there.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
but you are, because if they weren't screwing them up,
what I'm saying is it's supposed to be two people.
They wouldn't screw them up whether the man is there or not.
That's not true. Because if a woman can do a man's job, then what we need men for? Just to spread a seed? Because a woman can do just everything that a man can do, right?
No, she can't.
Name one thing a woman can do that a man. Name one thing a man can do that a woman cannot do besides make a baby and grow a whole lot of facial hair. Even though some women can do that too.
A man can protect the children from evil, whereas the woman can't.
A woman can protect her child from evil.
No.
You see that every day, all day.
No, the evil is coming through the woman. How is she going to protect the child when it's coming through her?
Because the evil is coming from another man, and a woman cannot fight a man. Is that what you're saying?
No. the evil coming
So
through.
that's what she's protecting the evil from would be another man, right?
No.
And that's the only way that she cannot protect it is because a woman cannot equally fight a man, right?
No, that's not true. You're right. The
a
woman
woman
can't
can
beat a man
equally fight a
physically.
man?
I'm not talking physically. I'm telling you
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, and that's why we got to refocus and look at the real deal and not just the outer deal. We got to look at what is causing the outer deal to happen, and that is the spirit of evil, which was passed down to the woman from Eve, is destroying the children. And the spirit of the man, which is passed down through him by God, is supposed to protect the children from the spirit of the woman, which is evil. And it's not her, but it's that spirit that made a home in her, because no one ever told her she should overcome that. She can't overcome it. Is
Well,
that
that's
true?
another thing I
Is
don't
that true or
understand.
not?
Well, no. Well, I don't think so, but
Are you a
that's another
Christian?
thing that you always say. Yes.
If you're a Christian, why don't you think so and know so?
I really want to get understanding from you.
I'm sorry?
Huh? I said I really want to get understanding from you.
Okay.
But, okay, what was the last quote that you just said? Your spirit comes through the woman because of Eve. But Eve was deceived. So if someone is deceived, that means they're getting evil passed through them?
She was deceived?
She wasn't. She was tricked.
She was
you know what I
deceived
mean?
by
That's the part
evil.
that I don't understand.
She was deceived.
Because she was tricked?
Hold on. You asked a very good question. That's why I'm holding you on. 888-7753-773. 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news. Not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Whole lot of mess going on in the world. Hey, Big Bump is going to be co-hosting the Hake Report on Monday. It's Labor Day. And there's crazy destruction from hurricane/tropical storm Idalia. And there's an update on the fake indictments of Trump. They're real, right? Okay. And the student loan mess. Stupid. Sorry, don't say stupid, kids. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Friday. It's Express Yourself Friday, September 1st, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls, so hang tight, callers. He will get right back to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The lines are full. So you can call in as JLP is finishing with one call. As you hear him sort of wrapping up with a caller, you can start to call in because there's a slight delay from the stream. And hopefully you can get on air to get on with JLP. Big Bump, that's the rapper, one of the rappers in the stand-up theme song at the end of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. He's going to be co-hosting with the Hake Report on Monday. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports it is far-left commie capitalist Labor Day weekend this weekend. Most major retailers will be open on Monday, which is so-called Labor Day. But government buildings, of course, post offices and banks will be closed because they are the enemy of the people. Maybe not. I don't know. Crazy destruction. Idalia remains a tropical storm as it moves into the Atlantic after bringing heavy rain and wind to northwestern Florida, southern Georgia, and the Carolinas. Nearly 95,000 homes and businesses across several counties reported power outages today, and many still do not have running water. Imagine that. Whew, crazy. What else? Did I already tell you about, yeah. To complicate matters, officials say murky, waist-high floodwater. Don't go into it. Don't swim in the floodwater. Could be dangerous for days to come. So-called President Sleepy Joe Biden said that he will travel to Florida on Saturday to see the damage firsthand and pledged, like that'll help anything, stupid, and pledged long-term support to hard-hit communities. Preliminary estimates and suggested that the storm caused up to $20 billion in damage and lost output, according to Moody's Analytics. But the full scope of the damage will become more clear in the next 2 days with the release of official estimates of insured losses. Terrible. Those fake indictments. Our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, has pleaded not guilty in the sprawling Fulton County election interference case. According to a new court filing in the case, Trump is charged with racketeering in his alleged efforts to upend the 2020 presidential elections results in Georgia, where many blacks are Democrats. His arraignment marks the fourth and they're in charge. His arraignment marks the fourth time that Trump has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges since leaving office. It's ridiculous, the attacks on him, aren't they? Our greatest president has been scheduled to be arraigned in person next Wednesday, but Georgia law allows criminal defendants to waive their in-person appearance and enter a plea through court filings. Also in Georgia, security concerns are mounting after an inmate was killed in a stabbing at Fulton County Jail this week, the same place where Trump and 18 other co-defendants were booked earlier this month. And not a well-run jail, perhaps. Terrible. Mostly brainwashed students getting not paying their loans. Interest on federal student loans will start accruing again today, after rates were effectively set to 0% since March of 2020 under our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, being all gracious and merciful to these people due to the scamdemic pause, right? Now interest rates, which are fixed and vary by loan, will return to the same rate they were before they froze the freeze. But borrowers won't need to take any action until their first monthly payment is due. First in a while, right? For most people, payments will restart sometime in October. What a mess. So that's that. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. Second hour of the show. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week: what sense does it make to fight anyone about? No. What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? I gotta drink some water. What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? What sense does it make? A good question. You can listen to the show anywhere in the world. If you're busy and can't watch it live, you can podcast, but you can listen no matter what you're doing. Planning a war with Russia, sending all our stuff over to Ukraine, sending the illegal aliens around the country while you're sleeping. You can listen to the show, and then you podcast or listen live by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy. COZY.TV/JLP and JLP Talk on Twitter. Like, ring the bell, hit subscribe, and all that good stuff, all right? It's Friday. Every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. It is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You know, you said friends are people you can tell good things to and people you can tell bad things to. And you have friends because friends keep you sane.
We need friends.
What's up, man?
Hi. I just wanted to see if you knew any kids around like 11 or 12 maybe, because I need some friends. Like, really bad.
Would you rather have friends but live under a tyrannical system, or stand up for yourself and your rights, but maybe lose a few friends? I mean, I sat at lunch alone today, which is weird. Like, my friends didn't like me. Because if no one stands up for your God-given right, then they just fade away.
Wow. Somebody is setting a good example for that boy. Right on. My friends don't like you, and they like everyone. So before I go back to Barbara, I want to ask Hake a quick question. He mentioned that this weekend is Memorial Day.
No, it's not Memorial Day. It's Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. Memorial Day remembers the fallen soldiers.
Oh, and
that's in
Labor
May.
Day is a Union Day, right?
I guess, yeah, something like that.
So this is Labor Day already weekend?
Mm-hmm.
How did it get here this fast?
Time passes. Or time is an illusion.
I had no clue.
Yep.
It doesn't feel real.
Me either.
But let me ask. So y'all want the office to be closed? Y'all want to be off?
Yeah.
All right. The office is closed on Monday.
But we will be having the show.
Yeah, we'll do live shows, but the office will be closed Monday. Amazing. Okay.
I criticize the commie capitalists, but I'll take advantage of their swag.
So we'll be doing live shows on Monday, but not office hour. We'll shut down and do the commie day.
Sweet.
All right. 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly back to Barbara and just finish up the story about Eve being deceived. Barbara, are you still there from Michigan?
Yes.
And so you said that Eve was deceived, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right. Just like, and she was received by the devil, right?
Mm-hmm. Another man, right?
I'm sorry?
A man, right?
No, the devil, snake.
Male.
What?
Male. Was it a male? Was it a male?
I don't know.
Was it a man? Was it a man? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Why do you? I don't know. That's a crazy question. But let's go.
Well, all I'm saying is, was it masculine? How about that?
No, it was feminine.
The snake was feminine?
Yeah, that's where the feminine spirit came from. And then just to show you, and you're right about it's not the woman that is not her nature, her natural nature of evil that's coming through her. It's an abnormal nature, but it comes through the woman. And that's why, and then so she passed it on to the children, the boys and the girls, and they become like her, evil, limited imagination, hearts of evil, right? And when they return to the father,
they spend more time.
Barbara, and when they return, Barbara, when they return to the father, born again of the father, that abnormal nature is taken away from them, and they're given their normal nature, which is not in the imagination, not an evil heart, but perfect heart of love. And then they start to see rather than being to thinking.
Okay. But I was going to say, technically, though, didn't God design it to where the child stays with the mother more?
No.
So she's not supposed to stay home with the baby, take care of it, raise it, teach it while the husband goes out to work?
Well, she's supposed to nurse the baby until about 3 years old or so, and then the father takes over in that he guides her and the children the rest of the way. It's because she's now getting her instructions from him, and the babies don't need that mama love anymore. They need the father's love, because their mother's love is just about breastfeeding and making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, changing diapers, and holding the baby.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, and holding the baby.
That is not the role of the woman, though.
What?
That's not the role of the woman. Well, that's domestic stuff. That's not why God designed women, was to cook and clean and all this other stuff. That's not what he designed us
Yes,
for.
he did.
There's a lot of women out here that can do a lot of different things, and without them, if all the women just stayed at home while the men went out and did everything, that would be awful.
You know what? If the two things I want to tell you in the world. In the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, when
I
there
really
was...
hate when you say that.
So what now?
I said I really hate it when you say that.
You hate it when I say that?
Yeah, because I listen to you all the time, and you always say that, and it's always...
Why you hate it
when you say that?
Why?
Because what does that even mean?
Mean that when boys were boys and men were men before they would turn to be so feminine, right? But what I want to tell you about that is that in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, if there was a divorce, which was rare, the children would stay with the father and not the mother. They would not let
how would he go and work?
They would not let the children stay with the mother. And then when the film movement started, whatever they call it, the courts and everyone changed that, and now all you have is hell, because the women are just taking the children with the support of the court. They are taking the children away from the fathers, not because they want the children, it's because of money, and then the pain and misery they cause for the children and the father. It's not like the woman want the children, because as soon as she get the kids, she use that money for personal gain. She throw the kids in daycare centers and schools and things. She doesn't care about the children at all. And then when the father try to visit with the children, she make it absolutely difficult, and in some cases, impossible for the children to see their fathers. So it's not like she want the children. She want to cause pain for the children and the father, and she want finance, money for herself.
I just think that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong.
Completely.
It's totally wrong, but that's what's happening in the world today. It's upside down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe that either.
Where are you living? How old are you?
I'm 49.
Do you ever look outside your window?
I'm outside right now, and I don't see. And I live in Detroit.
Barbara, why are you being so dishonest about this?
I swear on everything, I am not being dishonest. I am really telling you the absolute truth.
No, you're not.
I moved into my house. No, I moved in like 2 years ago, and all of my neighbors are super sweet. That we look out for each other. They came over. We met each other. And I live in Detroit, not the suburbs of Detroit. I live in Detroit. My daughter lives a mile away, and the same over there. Now, it's crime everywhere. You know that. But for the most part,
Barbara.
it's really nice.
Barbara.
Yeah, I'm here.
You have children?
Yes.
Barbara, why are you being so dishonest right now? Are you black?
I'm not. Yes, I'm black, and no, I am not.
Well, I rest my
being
case then.
dishonest.
Okay, I understand. Barbara,
So you said just because of the color of my skin, I'm lying?
No, because you're a woman.
Oh, because I'm female.
A black woman. Barbara, I got to run. Don't call me again. I like talking to you, all right?
All right, you have a great day.
All right. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat. There's a line open at 888-7753-773.
Over on D Live, Henry Ford lives. I might have read this one, but just in case I didn't, he gave a diamond yesterday. Deny the flesh, return to the spirit. Very simple.
Yeah, you read that.
Oh, whatever.
But fine.
It's a nice super chat.
Yeah, it is.
Irregardless, which is not a word.
Not a word.
Elias Leal bought 5 coffees twice.
Thank you.
And said, I'm blinded with temptation and amazing. H-E double toothpicks, LOL. Lots of laughs. He didn't say H-E double toothpicks. I'm just censoring it.
Right.
Yeah. And then he said with his other 5 coffees, I pray N-word never know how amazing, amazing H-E double toothpicks. I don't know what he means, but thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate your support, man.
Yeah.
He's called into my show before, I think.
Nice.
Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds. Jesse, isn't it nice the mayor of New York City to allow all these military-aged men jobs?
I don't know what he's referring to.
I think he's talking about the illegals.
Oh. I don't know what that's all about because I haven't heard that story yet, but thank you.
Yeah, me too. Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I can't wait for your interview with Judge Joe Brown because as a teenager in the 90s, I remember watching his TV show and a lot, and not very much of Judge Greg Mathis because I felt that Judge Joe Brown's show was more entertaining and less boring than Judge Greg Mathis's show.
Amazing.
Isn't Mathis the one who shoved you?
He did. Oh, yeah. What now?
Along with J.C. Jackson's son?
Jesse Jackson's son
Allegedly.
and Jesse Jackson and all them. I took them to court.
Yeah.
What now? So that was
I guess
more
I
than
have to say allegedly.
All right. Nice. Yeah, Matthew. What an evil man. He's still alive?
But barely breathing. No, I don't know. Greg Mathis?
Yeah.
Let's see. Judge Greg Mathis is, so he's still alive according to Wikipedia.
Amazing.
Walk Monster bought a coffee. The best 3 hours on this side of heaven. Amazing. Jesse, is boredom a feeling or something else? And can it be conquered? Thank you. Heart, less than 3, which means heart, which means love. The best 3 hours on this side of heaven. Amazing. Jesse's boredom a feeling or something else? And can it be conquered? Thank you.
Greg Mathis is breathing, right? You're just singing that song. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But he's
barely
fine.
breathing is still breathing.
Yeah.
Just barely.
So they want to know what? They ask what?
Is boredom a feeling or something else, and can it be conquered?
Is boredom a feeling or something else? Yeah, boredom is just a feeling. It's an illusion. It's not you. It's not natural. And but to be bored with nothing to do, if you appreciated it, it will cause you to wake up. You start seeing things about yourself, and you will go, "What the?" and you start seeing it, you start waking up. Because boredom, if you stay with it and not get something to distract it, really, you'll wake up. It'll aid in your waking up. Thank you. Amazing question. Yes, you can overcome it.
Matt or Matty Clubs on X, which is Twitter, bought a coffee. Just came across your interviews a few months ago, and now I listen to the JLP show each day. I heard the Trump trial will be live streamed and televised, and now I'm going to hurry up and wait and see. It's going to be amazing. Love you, Jesse. Thanks.
Thank you. Amazing. Yeah. With the great white hope, what's happening to him, as each one of us should do in our own life, have a wait and see life. Don't think about the future or the past or wonder the outcome or anything. Have a wait and see, and it will always be amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
And over on Buy Me a Coffee, Raul G bought 3 coffees. Here's some coffee for your little business.
Hi, your little business. I got a little business. You can have an empire. And the black woman asked, hi, your little business. All jealous.
Michelle bought 3 coffees. It makes no...
Thank you, by the way.
This is a biblical question response.
Okay. What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone?
Michelle with 1 L bought 3 coffees. It makes no sense to fight anyone. Walk in love of God and pray for enemies. Love the show. Heart emojis. You still make me smile. Pink flower emoji.
Amazing. You make me smile. Only stay for a while. Wherever you go. You always know.
Is that Colby Kylat?
You make me
Colby
smile.
She knows she's still the boss.
Thank you.
Bradley Thomas Serbu bought a coffee. God bless you, Jesse, and all that you do.
Thank you, and God bless America. If ever we needed a blessing on America, we need it now, Lord. Thank you.
Riley JM bought a coffee. I was working on my car last weekend, turned my phone off so I could stay focused. My dad showed up to my garage where I was working and told me that someone found my wallet. I didn't know I lost my wallet. I told my dad. My dad said, I guess you did. The person who found it found my dad's business card and texted him. The person lived in the same apartment complex. We met at my apartment so I can retrieve my wallet. They told me it's been ran over. Now I have the and Texas ID that is all bent, and I have a few credit cards bent too. I wasn't present, so I forgot my wallet, and now it's all bent out of shape. The whole time it was in my bag, and I thought I left yesterday I thought I left my fork in my truck, but the whole time it was in my bag in my apartment. I did grab my fork, but I had thought it was back in my truck. The whole time the fork just sitting there in my apartment. I did need to get a few other things out of my truck, so I guess the walk wasn't a waste. I guess he's in his mind and not with his body.
Amazing.
That was not very pithy, but I appreciate the coffee.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It was a lot.
The preacher's kid bought a coffee. The pastor is 3 months behind in his car note and is requesting for all the church members to wear tennis shoes to bring some Vaseline with them to church on Sunday in order to help him fight off the repo man if he shows up trying to tow the pastor's 2024 Mercedes-Benz.
What? No.
He's been giving a saga about his pastor.
Is making that up, though, or what?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Might be. Greenwald with the diamond. This is a response to the biblical question.
What sense does it make to fight anyone, to fight anything or anyone?
Don't fight, but do stand up for yourself to evil, he says.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
J-Dog bought a coffee. I watched Gandhi last night.
Gandhi?
He spelled it wrong, I think. But, yeah, I believe it's that movie, yes.
Okay.
At 1 hour, 27 minutes, 1,516 innocent, unarmed men and women and children were murdered by a government for simply having a meeting in public. and talking about peacefully protesting tyranny. Politics is the game of life and death by the tens of millions. It is our duty as Americans to do something to help better the world is some way, even if it is small. In some way, even if it is small. We are the richest, freest, greatest nation in the history of the world, after all. If we, the people, give the governments of the world all this power and they cannot simply end world hunger, then they are completely worthless as leaders and a complete and utter disgrace, says J-Dog with that coffee.
Thank you, J-Dog. Appreciate it.
And thanks, guys. I do believe that's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all. Amazing. Let me go to, thank you very much. Let me go to Grace. Now, Grace is sufficient for me. Out of a first-time call out of L.A. Grace, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, Grace.
How do you find perfect peace?
By looking within, overcoming anger, and God will give you his perfect peace. He will change your nature, your heart, and nature from hate to love. And in perfect love, there is perfect peace.
What you said, baby? What if you have a relationship with God?
I'm sorry?
What if you don't have a relationship with God?
You will never have perfect peace. Because...
and that's how the cookie crumbles.
If you don't have a relationship, quote unquote, with God, you have one with the devil, whether you realize it or not.
You're Satan's child.
I'm sorry?
I must be Satan's child.
You don't have perfect peace?
I'm looking for it.
You don't have it?
No.
Do you want it?
Yes.
Go and forgive your mother and return to your father, and you will have perfect peace.
Thank you very much. I'm going to let you go.
All right. 888-7753-773. That was easy. Let me go to T, a first-time call out of California. There's one line open. T, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing today?
All is well, T.
Yeah, I'd just like to call in and give you a shout-out. I've been listening to your show. I listened to some of your videos off of YouTube, and just like to give a shout-out to you. I think you're one hell of an entertainer. You say a lot of positive stuff, a lot of direct stuff, and a lot of people probably don't take that well when they hear the truth, but it is the truth, and that's what matters.
I appreciate that, T. Stay with it. Are you working on yourself?
Yeah, I have a business, and I also contract myself out to Walmart. I'm one of those firm believers in pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. And,
have you overcome your anger?
What was that?
Have you overcome your anger yet?
Yeah, I have overcome anger, I guess, a while ago.
Right on.
But my anger stemmed from me not being as successful as I want to be. But now, things are in more of a rhythm, and I'm finding out how to better work the system of business, and therefore I benefit from that.
Nice. Well, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you for that. I wish you well, all right? Call me again.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse Peterson.
All right. Amazing.
Later.
Thank you, buddy. Amazing. All right. Let me go to Denmark and talk to Nicole, a first-time caller. Nicole, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, is it Nicholas?
Hello, yes. Yeah, it's Nikolai.
Oh, Nikolai, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's really an honor. I've been watching you for years now. So it's the first time I'm on here.
All the way from Denmark.
I have a question. Yep.
Okay.
I have a question for you regarding soccer, because I'm trying to become a soccer player, but I'm not really good enough. I use all my time playing, and to be honest, I just feel weak when I play because I'm so much worse than all the others. I feel like a beta.
And why are you feeling that way?
Well, because I'm just worse than all the other people that I play with. I use all my time to become a better player, and I'm not really sure I mean, I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing.
And your question for me is what?
Well, do you think I should keep playing?
Here's what I recommend. Give this a try first, and then you'll see the next thing to do, all right?
Okay.
Go out there. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Don't try to play like anyone else. You just do the best you can without comparing yourself and calling it good or bad, and just do your best.
Right.
If you do that, Nicholas, you will become an amazing player. But if you compare yourself to others, saying that you're not as good as someone else or they play better, then it's going to hold you back.
Right. Wow. I'm going to do that, Jesse. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, but don't...
I promise you I'm going to do that.
Yeah, don't compare yourself to anyone about anything in life. You just live your life, wish everybody else well, and you'll see life will turn out amazing for you, all right?
Right. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
I'm going to use your advice.
Okay, let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will. I'm going to call in a few weeks, and I'll let you know how it went.
Okay, don't compare yourself. Just be you. Thank you, buddy.
Will.
I got to take a break. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Amazing! Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-775-3773. There is one line open if you want to jump in there. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, H-A-K-E report. And y'all should listen to the Hake report. He's on fire. The guy with the good hair. And then at 12 noon, a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. I had a very, very interesting discussion with Judge Joe Brown. He had a lot of information too. Judge Joe Brown, he is a former lawyer, judge, and TV personality who is currently running for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
By the time I got 15 or so, I'd seen people stabbed, people shot. It was like being in a war zone.
How did you manage to survive all that?
How well you meet that danger with courage, and that's what determines what kind of person you are. The biggest threat you have right now is the rainbow religion.
What is the solution to all this mess?
Being brave and courageous, it's up to us. Nobody's going to do it for us.
The FallenState.tv. You don't want to miss it. And then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. He's going to be flying high on the Trump Express. You don't want to miss that at 4 p.m. today. Trump Force One. He's going to be traveling on Trump Force One. You don't want to miss it. Get ready. It's going to be a smooth ride. Amazing. The American Anchor Baby. And Sunday morning, Fellowship for All. For all. If you're in the LA area, come on down. Come on down for all. And if you're not in the LA area, you can watch it live anywhere in the world by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. And at Sunday at 11 p.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss it. Sunday. Before I go back to the phones and your super chats, we're talking about evil and how people living in their thoughts. Everyone that lives in their mind, thoughts. Anyone that has anger and fear. Well, if you do have anger, you got to have fear. You can't have one without the other, right? You're evil and you feel like a victim. You think you're a victim. And you love that victim mentality. You really love it. Anyone that has anger feel like a victim. And you love it. Isn't that something? And now, in my country, it pays to be a victim. And the people know it, and they're paying you to keep you in that victim mentality so they can control you for personal gain. It's not like they love the victim. They need the victims to vote for them, to help their money and perceived power. That's why they give the people drugs and free drugs, and they want to legalize pot all over the country, because they want you fighting one another. They want you to fight over stupid stuff like racism, something that doesn't even exist, or white supremacism. What a mess, huh? Well, lo and behold, you know how they've been pushing this transgender mess, and we all know it's not real, but they're doing it anyway? It pays off. They get the transgender money, they're going to get the transgender vote. They're going to stay in government, and they can get money and perceive power from that. It's a game being played, but it's a wicked game. Every human being does that to themselves and to others. Anyone that has anger is playing a wicked game on themselves and on others, and they call it love. Why do you think, not all, but most of the blacks have been crying racism for years, 70 years or so? They get money. They get free stuff. They get to get into the white school without having to earn it. That's why they're doing it. If they got none of the free stuff, they will stop doing it. What would they be a victim for? It's not going to pay off. It doesn't satisfy them, though. It doesn't make them free on the inside. It just gives them a false, temporary sense of happiness. They got a little money, and it runs out, and the misery is still there. Now the transgender people are doing the same thing. Breitbart is reporting that a transgender woman or a man living as a woman got a $160,000 settlement. Got a $160,000 settlement after being misgendered by workers at a jail in New York. Watch this from News Channel 34.
The lawsuit alleged that during her incarceration, the staff discriminated against Holland on the basis of her sex, transgender status, and disability. Holland reached a settlement, and the county has committed to prevent discrimination and violence against transgender, intersex, lesbian, gay, and bisexual people in its custody by changing its policies to comply with the federal and state law. Following the announcement of the settlement, the CLU made a testimonial video with Holland.
When I first got into the Broome County Jail, I just felt I was being humiliated. I was a laughing stock there because I was being discriminated because of me being a trans woman. So that put me at a high risk of harassment, and I'm a woman and I was being housed with grown men.
Under the settlement, Broome County says in the jail it will now house people consistent with their gender identity, conduct searches with the gender of the officer that the inmate feels safest around, ensure that the staff respects a person's identity, including name and pronoun usage, ensure access to clothing, toiletry items, and medication are free from discrimination and consistent with the person's gender identity. Holland will be compensated with $160,000, and the policy should be in place now.
Amazing. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And the only thing that's going to do is create more hell. That's all it's going to do. It's not going to solve anything, and it's not going to make anything right. It's not going to bring peace on earth, nor to the person that's claiming that. They're doing it for the money and perceived power. It's just going to create more and more problems. And that's what happened in your life or anyone's life that believe thoughts and have anger. All you do is create problems for yourself because you listen to a lie. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And I got proof of that. It's only going to get worse. The Federalist is reporting. Now, you saw that this guy got $160,000, and now they're going to change the jails and put these people in the jailhouses with women, and then put the men who think, the woman who think that she's a man, I guess, in there with men, I guess. You know that's going to be a problem. Well, Breitbart is reporting that according to a report based on data obtained through a public record request, more than 50% of men who identify as transgender held at the Wisconsin Department of Correction have been convicted of sexual assault or sexual abuse. And think of the number of men who will pretend that they're a woman just to get put into the woman's prison. If ever, you can overcome your hell, folks, but you got to overcome the imagination. But first, you got to overcome the anger heart. Salvation's of the heart. Anyone that has anger is of your daddy, the devil. You lie to yourself and pretend you're not, but you are. You have fear. And you try to hurt others because you're hurting. You try to hurt others because you're hurting. Amazing. Let me go to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Rick.
But everybody will listen to the Jesse Lee Peterson show for knowledge today, my brother. What's going on?
All is well. Thank you, Rick.
Man, you know, I hope Joe Brown will run for the mayor of Memphis and turn it around, man. I believe Judge Joe got some good ideas. And is he running as a Republican or independent?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, because Joe Brown, he's probably...
I don't know.
Well, he's probably one of the fewest guys that's conservative, man. I wish him well, man. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that election in Memphis because Memphis, man, it's a war zone down there, man.
Yeah, Memphis is a mess. And it's been that way for a long time now. And it's not going to change unless a man like Judge Joe Brown take it, or some white conservative man, Christian man take over. According to Wikipedia, Brown is an independent candidate for the 2023 Memphis mayor election.
Good. Because
Yeah.
now you can't even be a Republican. Like they doing everything the Democrats are trying to do.
Yeah, we have a one-party system now.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that, Jeff. And, too, man, I was doing air conditioning work for a church. And she was saying, I don't know why. It's like the way blacks are, man. Like, if you don't wake up and start thinking for yourself, there's no hope for no black children, man. 'Cause I'll tell you why. First thing, they get all that false racism, mess, victimhood from their parents. Then after their parents teach them, then they go to the public school system. Then they reinforce it. Then they go to the liberal colleges. Then they reinforce it. Then they go to the black community leaders. They reinforce it. The black politicians, they reinforce the victimhood and stuff. Then they go to these false black pastors, and they reinforce the victimhood. It's like if a black kid don't wake up and start thinking on his own, he would never think for his own, because they make sure that they stay dumbed down. And then you got to throw in black urban radio. They do it.
Yeah, this is why I encourage parents to get over their anger, the black parents to get over their anger and take back their children, because the people of the world are brainwashing them in order to keep the races divided, and in order to gain wealth, so-called wealth, and so-called power for themselves. Black children, black people are not loved and appreciated by anyone in this country anymore. All the races are afraid of the blacks.
Yeah, because they cause destruction. Even in Africa, every time Africa has an issue, they go in there and try and take their resources. Well, I said, you got to blame the management. Well, if Africa wouldn't owe everybody so much money, they can take control of their own lives. And if they get some competent people to run the government and run Africa like a business, they can probably be economically strong. Africa don't even have strong infrastructure.
Yeah, no, it's a mess in Africa.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Even I remember a time when white people ran South Africa, Mommy Africa, and South Africa was beautiful at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whites have done what the whites have done here, is giving it over to the blacks and others. And it became, South Africa became pure hell. And the same thing is happening here. Protests and destruction and drug addicts and alcohol and everybody and their mama on welfare and all kind of stuff, man. It's a mess.
Why it seems like that blacks can't run anything? They can't run businesses. They can't run cities. And
because they've been told that they don't need to. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. It's racism in the way. And so the blacks have given up on their families. They've given up on themselves. And that's why that's going on. But there are some blacks now who are starting to hear the truth. And they're starting to wake up. And even more are waking up as a result of what's happening to Trump. But they see that the injustice that's done to Trump, and they're starting to wake up just from that. So most would never wake up anyway, but some are starting to wake up. Rick, I appreciate you, man. I got to run. Thank you for calling. Call me again.
No problem, Justin. Love y'all. Keep the information coming, bro.
I will, buddy. Thank you so much, Rick.
Hey, love y'all. Have a great weekend.
You too. Oh, yeah. Happy Labor Day.
Yep, Labor Day.
Mommy Africa. All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me talk to, for the first time out of New Jersey, Jahir. Jahir, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Jesse P?
All is well.
I'm doing great. As a black man, growing up and stuff, experiencing racism, I wanted to know your take on why you don't believe in racism.
Tell me first, and then I will respond to that. What is experiencing racism? Give me an example of you experiencing racism.
Just, in the job force, applying for jobs, seeing how, the behavior, how, my white counterparts interact with other people in group interviews and, seeing why, I'm not getting these jobs, in these corporations,
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. You give me an example of what happened.
I just wanted to know why you don't believe in racism.
Can you give me that? And I'll tell you that, but I want to understand how you see racism. You said that you can't get a job?
Yeah, dealing with, discrimination constantly, in the workforce.
What do you mean dealing with, if you didn't have a job, if you don't have a job, how are you dealing with discrimination?
Higher pay job, that's the thing with the degree, anybody could get, regular mom and pops, but I feel like, the system has systemic racism within it, as you go higher up.
But have you been higher up?
No, I never been given the opportunity.
So how do you know that?
How do I know? Just looking at how, my white counterparts interact during interviews and, knowing my qualifications and what I could bring and, just looking at the way that, they talk to me and stuff like that, it's definitely different from, the other people that I see them interview.
And in your mind, you call that racism?
Discrimination, pretty much.
Everybody discriminates. That's not.
Pardon me?
Discrimination is not racism.
Okay. What's the difference?
Do you talk to them any differently than you talk to how they talk to you?
No, I treat people how I want to be treated.
Right. Well,
I don't see color as a barrier,
Right. So if you don't see color as a barrier, then you can't believe that racism exists.
Okay.
But the reason I know without a doubt that there's no such thing as racism is because our battle is a spiritual battle. You're either dealing with evil people of all races, or you're dealing with people who have overcome evil, and it has nothing to do with the color, but everything to do with the heart.
I see what you're saying.
That makes sense?
You're basically saying it's all about, like, the energy of the people, whether it's good or bad. It's not necessarily like a color thing.
Right on, 100%. It has always been that way, and it shall always be that way. And it has nothing to do with color, but the people who are trying to control you and divide you so there'll be a war going on between the races have told you that it's racism, and now they make you think every white person you deal with, if they don't do it the way you think they should do it, it's racism. You've been set up.
So basically it's the divide and conquer method. So basically, we all humans at the end of the day. So basically it's like, okay, you part of this group, and then let them self-destruct, basically.
Yes, 100%. But what I recommend that you become your own man. Don't be a part of a group, and stop identifying with people of color. But look at the heart. You can see where they're coming from, and you'll be fine. And you know it has nothing to do with your color.
Right. Thank you, JCP.
All right, buddy. Call me again. All right.
All righty.
Okay. See that? He's been lied to. He's been lied to. They're lying to you. You've been lied to inside of you, in your imagination, which is of the devil. And you've been lied to outside of you, that's coming from other people who are of the devil as well. And they divide and conquer. Everybody have the same problem. Some situation might be a little different, but it's the same spirit. Either you have hate or you have love. And if you have anger, which is hate, you're going to believe the lie and can't believe the truth or won't believe it. 888-7753-773. Connor is out of Georgia. Georgia, oh my mind. Connor, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, thank you, Jesse. How are you doing?
All is well, sir.
Awesome. I wanted to ask if you feel, if do you think human beings can disrespect each other?
No, Not at all.
Okay, why do you feel that?
Hold on. Can you hold for me, Carter? I didn't realize we were at a break at the top of the hour. Can you hold?
Yeah, I can hold.
All right. 888-7753-773. The hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. I'll be back in a moment. One more hour to go, which is Super Chats and phone calls. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Supreme Court in Texas, the base Supreme Court, I use the term loosely, protect kids from LGBTQ rights. Nice. Trader Joe's has a food recall. Whoa. Oprah and the Rock swooping in to fundraise off that Maui wildfire mess to help the people. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Express Yourself Friday, September 1st, the first of the month. The rent's due, or mortgage, I guess. 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3, last hour of JLP. Get it off your chest Friday. Coming right up. Back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in right now. 888-77-JESSE. 1-888-775-3773. No I in Jesse. Jesse. To get on hold, to get on air. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Today's Friday. That means the Fallen State is at noon Pacific time, 2 Central, 3 Eastern. That premiere of JLP's interview with Judge Joe Brown. The Fallen State TV YouTube channel on YouTube. Also TFS. Oh, no. Jesse Lee Peterson's YouTube channel on, not YouTube, Rumble channel will be live there, as well as Cozy and other channels. Nice. Shout out to cozy.tv/JLP. The Anchor Baby, Nick stream at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Trump Force One, he's flying it. Nice. Have a nice Labor Day weekend. Commie capitalist fake holiday. But we will be live on Monday on the JLP Show, on the Hake Report, on American Anchor Baby. I do believe we are not commie capitalists, I don't think. Big Bump will co-host with Hake Monday, but the office will be closed. But next week is the Men's Forum, I do believe, first Thursday of the month. We will confirm that on Sunday with Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, rebuildingtheman.com/church Bond YouTube channel. Turbulence, hospitalized people. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports 12 people were injured on a recent Delta flight that experienced, quote-unquote, severe turbulence en route from Italy to Atlanta. So said the National Transportation Safety Board, announcing Thursday. The NTSB is opening an investigation after the incident sent several passengers and crew members to the hospital. By several, I don't know how many that means. It could mean 3. They abuse that word, several. The liberal media does. Many others, too. LGBTQ rights? No such thing. The Texas State Supreme Court. Oh, I was thinking the U.S. Supreme Court. The State Supreme Court of Texas on Thursday dismissed efforts to block, temporarily, the state's near-total ban on so-called gender-affirming care. What a nice euphemism for evil, right? For minors. Clearing the way for the measure to take effect today. The law, known as Senate Bill 14, SB 14 in Texas, prohibits most minors from receiving treatment common for gender dysphoria, including puberty blockers and hormone so-called therapy. LGBTQ so-called health advocacy groups called the ruling a blatant disregard for the human rights, communist buzzword, fake thing, and dignities of LGBTQ plus individuals. They want to destroy their dignity by appeasing the evil nature, right? With the law taking effect today, Texas will join more than a dozen Republican-led states that have moved to restrict so-called gender-affirming care. Separately, Canada issued a new advisory this week warning its so-called LGBTQ citizens of the risks they could face when traveling to the United States, citing a record number of anti-LGBTQ laws in several states. Makes me laugh. Canada, what a joke. Shout out to the Canadians. We love you. If we love anybody. Trader Joe's has issued another food recall. It's 6th since July 2023 AD. Last week, the grocery chain said nearly 1,700 packages of tamales. Don't eat the tamales. Don't get between Michelle and a tamale. Containing undeclared milk were shipped to U.S. stores, potentially posing a risk to shoppers who may be avoiding items containing milk allergens. Texas Tamale Company makes the product. They said they regret any inconvenience and apprehension this incident may have caused. Other foods that Trader Joe's has recalled in recent weeks are its multigrain crackers, because it might contain metal. Whoa. 2 types of cookies, might contain rocks, and other items. I'm James Hake, full awful. I'm James Hake, now JLP.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. There is one line open at 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The biblical question, my biblical question this week, what sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can watch it, listen to it if you're busy and you can't sit and watch it live. You can podcast, but you can watch it working out, whatever you might be doing right now, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, Cozy, COZY, cozy.tv/JLP, JLP Talk on Twitter, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or Bond JLP on Cash App. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You know, you said friends are people you can tell good things to and people you can tell bad things to. And you have friends because friends keep you sane.
We need friends.
What's up, man?
Hi. I just wanted to see if you knew any kids around like 11 or 12 maybe, because I need some friends, like some really bad.
What?
Would you rather have friends but live under a tyrannical system, or stand up for yourself and your rights, but maybe lose a few friends? I mean, I sat at lunch alone today, which is weird. Like my friends didn't like me. Because if no one stands up for your God-given right, then they just fade away.
Wow, that boy is before his time. Right on. Are you going to stand up for what is right in the heart, not what you think is right, or your so-called friends? Amazing. I want to go back to Connor. I had to put him on hold there. We ran out of time. Out of Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, my mind. Connor.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, so restate your question.
Yes. So I was asking you if you believed that human beings can disrespect one another.
And I say no.
Yeah, why do you think that?
Because you can only be disrespected if you have a false identity of who you are. But if there is no identity, then there's nothing there or no one there to be disrespected.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
So, yeah, I think I would agree, because I've always thought, you know, like I remember growing up. I'm only 22, by the way.
You're 22?
I remember, yes, 22.
Oh, okay.
Because I grew up always thinking that people can disrespect you, or that like it's important to be respectful. Because you know, I'm like you. I'm from the South, so you know how we were raised is to you know, be polite and respectful to one another. So I'm thinking that, you know, if anyone's disrespectful to me, then I've probably screwed up in some way, or I've done something disrespectful. But you know, even I've noticed that when people are disrespectful, which of course isn't all the time, but when people are disrespectful, it's usually they're probably just angry people, or just, you know, just maybe nasty, a little bit.
Yeah.
So you would agree with that people who you would interpret as disrespectful, they're just angry people.
I promise you that anyone that calls themselves, quote unquote, being disrespectful toward another person is really doing it to themselves. That's how they're feeling within themselves, and they're trying to get someone else to feel the way they're feeling so that they can feel better about themselves, which is a fake feeling better. It doesn't lie. But if you don't have any impression of yourself, if you don't see yourself as important or not important, if you don't see yourself as a reputation or no reputation, if you don't have any false illusion of yourself, no matter what they did or said to you, it wouldn't bother you at all. Because if there's no one there, who can they be disrespected of if you have no impression of yourself? But if you think of yourself in that way, in some kind of a way, then you can be hurt, because they'll just tear down or tamper with your illusion of yourself. It's like a person that think that they're important, and so the people around them treat them like they are important, right? But then if one person comes along and they don't treat you like you're important, Now you're feeling bad, you're getting mad because that person is not treating you like you're important, and you got to do something to try to get that person to treat you the same way. But if you don't think of yourself as important, you can't think of yourself as unimportant, there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because so you would say respect and disrespect that they're kind of made up words.
100%. They're made up words to fulfill false illusions of oneself and of others. It's just an illusion, and those things, because it's all ego. When you identify with those words as yourself, people can make you feel good or feel bad because you have a false identifier of self.
Right, and I think the funniest thing about it is the same people who talk about the so-called disrespect. People who talk about it a lot, they're the most disrespectful.
100%.
They're probably the angriest and meanest people. I've at least encountered that a lot in my life.
And so next time someone, quote unquote, disrespect you, if you feel anything about it inwardly, be glad that happened so you can overcome that false illusion of yourself. Don't get mad at them or be happy. Just notice it made you feel something. And then just noticing that false illusion of oneself would disappear because the light would cause that to be taken away from you because it's not real. It's just an illusion.
Right. I'm really happy to hear you say that because, I've gone through. I mean, I've only been on this earth for 22 years. Not super long or anything, but I know what it was like being in school and even outside of school now. Just going to work and hanging out with friends, things like that. Like I've always been so concerned with how people treat me because I never wanted to be a pushover, but I also never wanted to be like a jerk.
Right.
Like I wanted to be nice and kind and show people that I'm like I guess a decent person, but I also didn't want to be a pushover. So if someone did disrespect me or if someone was rude or whatever, I could stand up for myself and tell them how it is. But at the same time, I just wanted to find that balance, which I think a lot of people, generally speaking, try to do, but it's just not really realistic.
Right.
That's right. It's not realistic because I know I've heard you say before, like you treat everyone the same.
Yes.
And I think that's something I'm going to have to, at least treating people the same, something I'm probably going to have to find within myself.
You're right, because
so it's kind of
if you try to be nice and kind, that means that you believe there is a unkindness way to be. And so if you be nice and kind to someone, try to get along or whatever you're trying to do, and if they don't go along with that, they're mean back to you. Now you're going to feel like that you're not a nice person or they're not a nice person. But if you overcome anger and you treat everyone with love, perfect love, not emotional love, but perfect love, which is non-judgment, then you're going to treat even your enemy in the same way you would treat your wife, your children, or anyone else. There would be no different. It's the way that God treats all of us, and his son Christ, he treats us the same because he just has love, and there's no division in love, right? So you just treat everybody the same. Whether they like you or not, you treat them the same. They can't help it.
Right.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
I have, as a matter of fact.
And how did that go?
It didn't exactly go, I guess, well. I mean, I'm not angry about it.
What happened?
She didn't like the fact that I called her out on not being the best mother, and that I told her I forgave her. She found it. I would say she found it disrespectful. The fact that I went and did that. But I mean, I'm not angry about it. I did exactly what you said. You know, I know how you say, let them get angry, let them, hoop and holler and things like that, and just move on, just walk away from it. Because I'll be honest too, because I've been listening to your show for a while, for a couple of years now, and I can never find myself to actually physically go and forgive her, because I for years my mom has been telling me how to always be loyal and be respectful and things like that to the family, and specifically her. And I always found it hypocritical. At the same time, I didn't want to make my mom upset, but I found it hypocritical because she would always do disloyal and disrespectful things. So it made me, it was this extreme conflict I had. But it was kind of like a weight off my shoulders, actually being able to go do it. And that just kind of leads to another question I had while talking to you. It just popped up.
Before you get to it, don't forget it, and then I'll definitely give you time to ask it. But
okay, sure.
But why do you think it didn't go well if you forgave her, you walked away with a load taken off? Why do you think it didn't go well?
I guess because I was perceived with. I was worried about how she. I walked away thinking she perceived it in a completely negative way. Like I said, she
walked away thinking what?
That she found it to be a negative.
But what did that have to do with you? It went well for you. You walked away free, and whatever she thought about or felt, that's on her. It has nothing to do with you. So, if you walked away free by forgiving, it went well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because her reaction to it had nothing to do with you. And for you, you went there so you can go free, and you did. So it went well for you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you had another question. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'll make it real quick, too. I don't want to keep you guys. It just, again, this just popped up while I was talking. Do you think loyalty is something that's real, too? Because
no,
that's another thing that...
No such thing.
What now?
No such thing.
No such thing? Okay.
See, that's what I don't know. If you didn't hear the opening in the first hour, I want you to listen to it, all right? Podcast and listen to it.
Okay.
Those are just made-up words and wrong teaching, and then we grow up trying to live up to those things, and no one does, because it's wrong teaching, and every generation after generation after generation repeats the same thing, and it never works because it's wrong teaching. It comes from the ego imagination, and everyone, until they overcome it, is trying to make a wrong work, and you're never going to make a wrong that comes from the imagination work. It would never work. And so there's no such thing as loyalty. What happens is once you overcome that fallen state of anger, your nature is going to change from this abnormal nature, which is emotions and thoughts and ideas and feelings and all that, right, to the normal nature, which lack any of those things, and you'll just walk in perfect love, seeing what's going on, but having no opinion about it. You're not judging it.
Right. Okay.
And so
because
go ahead.
I was just going to say because those are things that my mom would say to make me feel bad.
Yeah.
Was like the loyal, like, you have to be loyal and you have to be respectful, things like that. So it's always made me concerned with if those words are just words just to make me feel bad or make me feel some type of way, or if it's something that is legitimate. Because so do you think you should be like, if I'm not married yet, but if I had a wife and kids, should I be loyal to them?
No.
Okay.
What you should be is right. You should be right within, overcome the anger, overcome the abnormal nature, and be right. Because there's no way you can be Lord to anyone, because it doesn't exist. What does that mean? What's the limit? How it starts? What you do? And the moment you try to prove that you are, is the very moment that you're going to believe that it's possible not to be. So now you're trying to work overtime to be that way, and your wife would see, and your children would see that you're trying to be that way, and they'll take advantage of you. They will see it as a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just being right from within, you're just being right. And if they don't like it, fine. If they do, fine. You have nothing to lose. And you will see how to deal with them in a perfect way, which is perfect love.
Right, okay.
This is why when you overcome the ego nature, you overcome all ideas, all thoughts, all feelings, and start trying to prove anything to the world. You overcome the world when you overcome anger, when you overcome the imagination. So there's no such thing as that. And no one has ever been able to do it.
Right. Okay.
Amazing, huh?
I think I really understand. And one final question, then I'll let you go. One final question: Are you going to vote Donald Trump next year?
The Great White Hope, all the way. Let me see what he has to say today.
And yes, together we will make America great again.
Amazing. Nice. So before I run, I gotta run now. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I just started.
So are you doing it every morning, every night?
Not every morning, every night. No, like I said, I just started.
So, but you just started this morning?
Yeah. Just this morning is what I meant. Yes, that's why I missed the first hour of your show.
Oh, I see. And so, like, you're in Georgia, 6, 7, 8, 9. So at 9 o'clock this morning, you still in bed?
No. No, I
You're not being loyal to me, man. You're lying to me.
No, I don't get up. I mean, I'm off work today, so when I'll maybe sleep in like an extra hour. Is that not normal?
For me, that's normal, man. On Saturdays is when I try to sleep in, because every other day I have to be up at 3. Sunday mornings I have to get up early. So I do understand that.
Oh yeah. Okay. I really appreciate the comments, Jesse, and what you said. I will definitely let you guys go. Just tell Hake, he knows me. I call into his show often. He probably knew exactly who it was when you said Connor.
Oh, he said, he said hello.
Yeah, hey James, tell him I said he has the good hair and that he's white.
You white. He said thanks.
No problem.
The one thing I want to tell you, are you living with your mother?
No, I recently moved out and I'm living with roommates now, just for now.
Oh, good. So when you deal with your mother, don't deal with her like a little child, a little boy. You deal with her like a man, meaning that you're a grown man. When she's wrong about something, you tell her. And if she's right, you can agree, but don't be afraid to be yourself with her, all right?
Okay. I promise I'll keep it that way from now on.
All right. All right, buddy. I wish you well. Call me again. Stay with the prayer.
I will. Thank you, Jesse. You have an amazing day.
You too, buddy. Amazing. Let me go to Matt. There's one line, 888-7753-773. Matthew out of Pennsylvania. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. How are you doing today?
All is well, Matthew. How are you?
All is well.
Good.
I said I was going to answer the biblical question, but I don't even remember what it is right now.
What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? What sense does it make to fight anything or anyone?
See, I feel like the question could be circumstantial, like depending on what situation you're in. But I guess I could say there is no reason to fight, because just like there's no reason to worry about things, there's no reason to try to strive for certain things that you might see in the world that you think that you want, but you know what I mean, when you get them and stuff, it's not, you don't have the same feeling that you thought you would have. So I guess you could say there is no reason to fight anything or anyone ever, because you could just give in to God and he'll fight the battle for you. But at the same time, in real life, like someone's threatening you, someone's like going to beat you up or something like that, you got to fight back.
So what sense does it make to fight anything or anyone? And so repeat that one more time, your response to the biblical question.
Well, I don't know, overall, I feel like this question's a bit subjective, you know what I mean? And I don't know exactly, I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding the question, but at the same time, it's like, there's no reason to fight, because if you keep fighting and stuff like that, you're fighting a battle, you know what I mean? Like, you're fighting a battle that you can't win. You have to give you have to give into God and let him fight the battle for you. But at the same time, if someone's going to attack you in real life, you got to fight back so you can get out of the situation.
Interesting. I appreciate.
So I think you should know how to. I think you should know how to fight, but don't always think that that's it's not the option. It's not because I know a lot of people that also they want to fight everything, everyone, and everything for every reason, and they're miserable in life, very miserable. So
interesting.
Like I said, it's subjective.
I really appreciate you responding to a very interesting response, too. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you for that, Matthew.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, buddy. Call me again.
I will.
Okay. Amazing. Let me go to Matthew, a first-time caller out of Kentucky. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well. How you doing, sir?
I'm very happy to be on with you today. I got a question for you. I've been very fascinated at this whole concept of forgiving your mother and your father.
Are you on a Bluetooth or something, a speaker?
I'm sorry?
Are you on a Bluetooth or something like that?
I am. I'm driving. Here, let me change that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? All right.
Is it all right, James?
Is that better?
Yeah, go ahead. That's better.
Okay, so my question is, my mother passed away quite some time ago, and, how do you go about forgiving someone that is no longer with us?
Can you see that you do have anger toward her?
Oh, absolutely.
And can you see that the way you think about things sometimes, the way you act and the things you do, you can't help yourself?
Yeah.
Well, that same spirit was in her, and she passed it down to you. And if you can realize that you cannot help yourself, it will cause you to realize she can help herself. And because you can't go to her, that will cause you to forgive her by realizing I'm wrong for resenting her. She couldn't help it.
Okay.
And then when you do that, God will forgive you because you see that you have the anger. You realize that you can't help yourself, and it will cause you to realize she couldn't help herself, and God will forgive you for resenting her, and He would take her spirit of anger and all that mess away from you, and you'll be a free man.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Have you forgiven your father?
Actually called him last week and forgave him, but I also told him that I'm going to come down to Louisiana, and I want to do that face to face as well.
And what did he say when you forgave him?
Oh, he sounded so relieved.
Yeah. Fathers love their children.
My mother and father divorced when I was real young, and my mom turned us, me and my little sister, away from him.
Yeah.
And several years ago, I decided that I've only got one parent left, and it would be a shame if I went through life never reaching out or never trying to reconcile that relationship.
Absolutely.
And things have gotten a lot better since then.
Can you hold on for me for a minute, Matthew?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me take a quick break. One line open, 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-775-3773. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour now at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The HAKE report. Oh, and by the way, the treasure chest is now open on D-Live. The Hake report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, all right? And after the Hake report, brand new episode at 12 noon today of the FartherState.tv. Amazing, interesting conversation with Judge Joe Brown. And Judge Brown is a former lawyer, judge, and TV personality who is now running for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee.
Next time on The Fallen State.
By the time I got 15 or so, I'd seen people stabbed, people shot. It was like being in a war zone.
How did you manage to survive all that?
How well you meet that danger with courage, that's what determines what kind of person you are. The biggest threat you have right now is the rainbow religion.
What is the solution to all this mess?
Being brave and courageous, it's up to us. Nobody's gonna do it for us.
Amazing. At 12 noon today, the Fallen State. At 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. And he's going to be flying high. Not on pot, but natural energy. You don't want to miss it. He's going to be on the Trump. What do you call that, Nick? He's going to be on Trump Force ON3E. Oh, Trump Force 1. Trump Force 1. All right, at 4 p.m. today. And you do not want to miss the American Anchor Baby. Church on Sunday, fellowship on Sunday for everybody and their mama. It starts at 11. Doors open at 10:30. If you're in town, in the LA area, come on down. And 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It starts at 11 Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church, rebuildingtheman.com/church. And I do appreciate it. Also, thank you all for helping support my nonprofit organization, Bond. We've been rebuilding the man by rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. We have entrepreneur program meetings every first Thursday night of the month for men, third Thursday night for ladies. Sunday morning, everybody, we do counseling, building this radio network, 24-hour talk for men only. We're making it happen with your support. Thank you for that. And I know that YouTube won't let us make money with them right now, so there are other ways to do it, all right? And I do appreciate it. You can go to rebuildingtheman.com to make your donations or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. So let me go quickly back to Matthew, who's driving right now, and he talked about forgiving his mother. She's expired, but he now understands how to forgive her. He has forgiven his father, and relationship is amazing now, right, Matthew?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot more close with my dad. It's been an amazing experience.
You know, and I totally understand that. That happens for every man, woman, and child when they return to the fathers. And it's just, I want the ladies, the mothers of these men's children, to understand how wicked it is to turn the children away from the father. And so maybe some of them, and some are waking up, because some of them that are waking up didn't realize how wicked it was to turn the children from the father. Because the fight is between the mother and the father. It's not between the children, and they should not involve the children at all, but due to the evil of the woman's heart, she does it to try to hurt the man, and so she'll hurt the children trying to hurt the father.
Why are mothers so hurtful? Why are women so hurtful?
Because they have not overcome the nature of Eve, the evil nature which is of the devil, and so their mother passed it on to them, and it goes on from generation to generation until the woman herself started to overcome by forgiving her mother. And then God will forgive her and give her a new nature, which is love. Then it will stop. But until she returns to her father, it will continue.
So how do you make a woman hold herself accountable to that?
By not going along with the evil heart at all. Don't cater to her. Be honest with her about it. Don't cater to her emotions, and don't try to please her and all that kind of stuff. And then you be right, And that way she will either have to look at herself and overcome it or depart away from you because you don't want to be with an evil woman. She will destroy you and your children.
Yeah, no other way out.
Right.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Jesse.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
No, I'm not. I have yet to look into that. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Is that like a form of meditation?
No, you want to observate. You want to, now that you're working on, you're starting to look at yourself, you're going and forgiving. You've been living in your imagination and thoughts, right? And feelings.
Yeah.
And now that you're waking up, God's going to bring you completely out of that. The light of God, when you sit still, He's going to bring you out of the thoughts so you just watch them and not see them, think of them as being you, and which is all ego, all lies, and he'll destroy them and give you a clear mind. So give it a try and see what you think.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot, and maybe one of these days get back with you about it.
Okay, that'll be fine.
All right. Love you, Jesse.
All right, you too, bud. I wish you well. Call me again, all right?
I will.
All right. Amazing. 888-7753-773. There's one line. Let me go to Wanda out of California. Wanda, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Wanda? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, Wanda. Hold on. Wanda, you're on the air.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Jesse, good morning. We've spoken before, and I'm calling because there was a lady that called before that was talking about her neighborhood, and they were all good. And she asked you, why do you always blame women for everything? And you believe, well, some parts of the Bible, God created man, and He created Eve as a helpmate for man.
Right.
God gave Adam all of the instructions in the garden. Adam chose to stand in the garden. Eve was deceived. So why is she so bad? Because he knew. God told him directly what to do. She was deceived, and then she said, hey, want some of this? And he just went along. So he rebelled against God. She didn't.
Where did you get the idea that he chose to do that?
Because he heard what God said. He was created first, before Eve, of course, because she was created from him. God gave him the rules, and he said, the tree of knowledge, don't touch that.
But
Eve
where
goes over it.
But where did you get the idea he chose to do it? Where did you get the word Adam chose to do that?
You say that all the time. People choose to do things.
I never say that.
Okay. Did he? How did
slow down
she give
for a
it? Did
minute.
he cram it down his face?
Slow down for a minute. I never said that. Never say that.
Okay.
All right.
Forgive me for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Did she force it down his face?
No, she deceived him in the same way the serpent deceived her.
He heard the word of God, so he rebelled from God.
He did not rebel. He was deceived in the same way Eve was deceived from her husband. Satan deceived her. She turned away from her husband, and he became a god. Eve deceived Adam. He turned away from his father, and the woman became his god.
So then a man is always deceived from a woman, according to the gospel of Jesse, right?
Well, not the gospel of Jesse, but the truth of God. Every time the man listens to the woman, he suffers.
Well, I want to tell you, all women are not evil.
Why do you say that?
And just like all men, because they're not. You make
Why
it
do you
seem
say
like,
they're not?
Because I know women that are not evil.
No, you don't.
I'm not evil. I know myself.
No, you are evil.
Okay, are there any evil men?
Why do you say you're not evil?
No, I asked you a question.
No,
are there any
why do you
evil
say you're
men?
not evil?
Because I don't do evil things.
You just
and
lie.
I don't try
Yes,
to
you
deceive
do.
people. I don't try to deceive people. I don't try to hurt people. No, I don't.
You're not being honest. You just tried that right now by saying that Adam chose to do that because he heard from God.
I'm not trying to
Adam chose to do that. And then you said, I know some good women now. You don't. No such thing as a good woman.
Okay, there's no such thing as a good woman. Are there any men that are deceitful and evil?
Yes.
Okay, well, why is it that you always blame women for all the wrongs in the world, but you never, when a woman has a husband and he walks off and leaves her and her kids, you say, oh, it was because of him. But then the kids go bad because he didn't take charge of them. And there are women that have men right in the household with them, and they choose not to.
I thought you
correct
said
their
you weren't
children.
evil. Now you're being all dishonest right away again.
I'm not being dishonest.
You are.
Okay, Jesse. Jesse, okay, let's just put it like this. Jesse knows best of everything. He always knows the truth.
When men leave his children, he's not leaving his children, he's leaving the woman because he doesn't realize she is his God, so he doesn't know how to deal with her.
Well, he didn't fight for his children.
And so he end up leaving, and when he does fight for them, which he should never do anyway, is the courts and everything is on her side.
And I agree with that.
Because the court is taking the side of Eve. And then if the man should get any visitation of right, the woman makes sure he catch hell. She gets in the way of that. She tell him when he can do it, how he can do it, who he can do it with. So Eve is still, the spirit of Eve is still
I agree that there are a lot. I agree there are a lot of women. I see that, and I think it's totally wrong.
It's evil.
If you and I don't get along, I shouldn't hold that against my children.
That's right.
And not let them have a relationship with you.
Right.
And a lot of women do that, and I totally agree.
If not all, most do that.
I will say a lot.
No.
But anyway,
most.
In your opinion.
Not my opinion. I'm just telling you the reality of that.
But I can have my own opinion. I can have my own opinion.
No, you can't.
Oh, only you.
No, I can't, nor can you.
Okay, Jesse, when you get the actual facts, then I will believe you. When you pull up the facts that you prove that most 99 or whatever percent you want to say of women are evil, then I will agree with you.
You know why I would never get the facts to try to prove that to you?
Why?
You can't prove anything to anyone, and you don't want to. You already know the truth about it, but you don't want to admit it. So I'm not going to try to prove anything to you or anyone else about anything.
That's okay. That's okay. But what my point is that when you talk about men and women, you always blame everything on the women.
Because the men who are like that, they have the spirit of the woman. It came from their mothers. It's the same spirit. Any man that has anger is a woman because he has his mother's nature, a mindset, her emotions, deceit. So he must be born again of the father, the same way the daughter that's of the mother must be born again too of the father because she has the same mindset and wicked heart as her mother has. That's why God said all must be born again of the father. Not one can get around it.
Oh, I believe that.
Rhonda, I gotta run though. I appreciate your call. Call me again, all right?
Bye, Jesse.
Bye now. Amazing. Man, I want to get to this story. So, Sean, do I have time to do this story or should I do super chats and calls? All right. I asked my producer because he has an amazing story that I had not heard of and I wanted to share it, but if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, I'll get to it Monday. And by the way, happy Labor Day weekend. I didn't even know it. We will be here doing the live shows on Monday, but not the office. It won't be open. Jensen is out of Arizona. Jensen, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I want to get your insight and some advice on my situation here with that happened with my son.
With your son?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to try to make a long story short, he had gotten in some trouble about a couple weeks ago, and he had gotten arrested and detained for smuggling illegal aliens.
Amazing.
Yeah, and So I had to deal with this whole situation. I'm separated right now, going on over a year with my wife, of a 20-year marriage, and we got 2 sons. The son that got pulled over and got detained, he is my youngest, and he was supposed to graduate high school this year, but he didn't. So just kind of give you the backstory of that and a little bit of understanding. But he got pulled over, detained, and for this for what he did for smuggling illegal aliens. He didn't get charged because he had no priors. He had no record, no criminal record. So the supervisor had detained him, but they told him they weren't going to charge him. But next time that he wasn't going to be down there and whatever, caught again, they would charge him. They did get lucky. And the reason why I'm asking you and trying to get your advice was that I didn't know he was down there. I thought he was with up in Montana where they had moved. His mom had moved them. But he was down here just messing around, and maybe told his mom that he was trying to find some work. But his mom had turned both my boys against me, so they don't talk to me. But the reason why I'm calling is because that was my car that he got pulled over in, and I never signed over the title to his mom, and that's why it came back to me and it fell back on me. I had retained the car. I got the car back. It's in my possession. He was trying to go behind, like not tell me what had happened initially, and try to get the title and transferred into his name. I was almost going to do it, but I didn't do it. And when I got this notice in the mail from the motor vehicle department, division, whatever, but they had told me where my car was. I picked it up and I got it. I had told my son that, I'm going to keep the car. But that's my whole thing, is that I'm not going to give it back to him because I just don't think that, he's going to make the right decisions with the car. I kind of recognized, my feelings as far as everything that I was going through. I had a lot of emotions running through me at the time, but at the same time, I was just like, don't get caught up in emotions, just handle what's in front of me and do what's in front of me. I had to drive 5 hours down towards the border, get my car out, and paid like $700 for the whole thing, for the whole trip and getting the car out. It was very unfortunate that my son put me in this situation. I was disappointed, but, I was trying to like not get caught up in my thoughts. It's amazing how when you're going through so many things and, stuff like that your thoughts and your emotions can take over real quick. I did my best to just handle what's in front of me and not try to overreact. I still have yet to talk to my son, to a man-to-man talk. And I don't know, like, should I call him, and just like, hey man, tell him that he's messing up? But I don't think I need to call him because I think he knows that he messed up. But it's like I don't know if he's, like, if he wants me, like, to give him guidance, but I really don't think he does right now. He's just kind of like trying to figure out stuff on his own.
How old is he?
He is 19.
And so your question for me is what?
My question for you is, should I call him and try to give him advice as far as like what he did?
Do what you want, of course, but absolutely not. I would leave him alone, let him suffer. If he call you and ask for advice, give him the right kind of advice. But there's nothing you can do, because if you get in the way, he's already messed up, according to you, from what his mother has done, turn him away from you. He's only going to get worse. But if you stay out of the way, don't give him that car back, let him painfully go through what he got to go through, you would never have to worry about him again or think about it.
And then I see what you're saying, and it's hard to Man, I really don't want him to get in any more trouble, though.
But if you get in his way,
but that's out of my hand, though, right?
If you get in his way, he's going to get in deeper trouble and mess your life up as well.
Okay.
Because you're going to play mama. Oh, I don't want to get in any more trouble. I don't. But first of all, you should have never given him a car. He should have to earn that car and not give him a car. And the trouble he's gotten in, if you give the car back to him, he's just going to get in more trouble with the car, doing the same thing or even worse. And so you're doing the right thing by staying out of your thoughts and emotions about it, and let the light guide you so that you don't get in his way and cause him to even do worse.
That's exactly what I was pretty much thinking. I just need to hear it from you and get that clarification. But I didn't give him the car. It just, his mom actually let him drive all the way down from Montana down to Arizona. And I don't, what happened there. I don't know whatever.
Does the car belong to you?
The car belongs to me. Yes, it's in my name.
Oh, okay.
But she allowed him to drive all the way down to Arizona and just, he said that he was going to get a job or do whatever.
Why did she have the car?
Because when we separated, when they moved, they still had that car in their possession. Initially, I was supposed to sign over the title over to my wife's name, but it never happened.
If I were you, I would either take her name off of everything that belongs to you, or if you're going to give her that car, sign it over to her, because whatever trouble they get in is going to affect you.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't. Yeah, so that's why I had everything that I had to give the car up, because it was in my name, and I would have got penalized and fined.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to take
you've already
action.
wasted because of what they have done.
Yes, and the car's not in her name; it's still in my name. So
are you going to keep it now?
I think I'm going to keep it. Yes.
All right. Well, make sure you don't put their name on it, and you keep it, and do not give it back to your son.
I don't want to give it back to her or him, because if I give it back to her, she's going to give it to him, and then just everything's going to repeat. That's what I feel.
Absolutely.
So I don't want him to make the same mistake. So he is going to run back to mama, I guess, in a couple of weeks and move back up there. And it was like,
poor guy.
He left all this. I'm sorry.
I said, poor guy, if he should do that.
Yeah, so, like what you said, I got to let him suffer, though, and, let him learn this stuff on his own.
Right. If he comes to you and asks for advice, give him the true advice, but don't go to him. Let him come to you.
Okay. That's what I kind of figured.
Yeah. Instead, are you doing the silent prayer every morning and night?
No.
Well, suffer. What's
Yeah.
That's why you're feeling emotional and stuff about this situation. You're not seeing your way through it. You're involved in thoughts about it.
I see.
Do the silent prayer, man, so the light can guide you.
Yes, sir, Jesse.
All right.
Thank you.
I wish you well. Let me know how it goes.
All right, you too.
All right, buddy. Bye. I am out of time. Thank you for your super chats. I'm trying to get to them. I will do them on Monday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Become your own man. Become your own woman. Go and forgive. Forgive your mama. Forgive your daddy. God will forgive you, and you'll wake up. The Hake Report coming up now. The Hake Report at 12 noon. Brand new episode of the FallenState.tv at 4 p.m. The American Anchor Baby. James, the first time call out of Boston. Mick out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Brenda out of New York City. I'm out of time. I'll be back on Monday. Have a good weekend. Happy Labor Day. Bye.
Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And there, when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself, or how much you have or don't have, or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.
Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson, Hassan, Sean, the American Anchor Baby.